I am really incredibly lucky. I work with some utterly amazing kids, and over my time at this school, I've sort of run some women's rights groups, and initially we started looking at human trafficking and FGM and honour-based violence. And then in the wake of the Sarah Everard case, we started looking at sexual harassment and women and girls' safety in the UK.
When I go out of school, I don't really notice it, but I feel a lot more nervous in my school uniform when I go near adults and especially older men. And I don't think I should feel like that. I feel like I should be free to wear my school uniform and feel great that I can go to a school and I can be educated.
It's totally wrong that anybody should have to feel that violated just because they wear a school uniform. I mean, it symbolises we're children, we're under 16, which is the age of consent, and we shouldn't have to feel like that being out of school in our school uniforms. It's just not right.
School uniform is clearly an indicator of somebody being under the age of 16 and therefore under the age of consent and therefore clearly not a sexual object, and yet it's so prevalent out in the big wide world. And we were talking about it and we were saying, well, why do we think this is? Why do we think that people feel this entitlement to objectify and sexualise children, and they're not embarrassed by it and nobody calls them on it and nobody says, you can't do that, they're clearly children. They feel very confident in the public sphere to act in this way. And we thought that it might have something to do with the fact that school uniforms are so sexualised in things like pornography, in sex shops, and actually places like eBay, Amazon. All you have to do is type in schoolgirl. You don't even have to write schoolgirl uniform, and the options that come up are all highly sexualised costumes of schoolgirl lingerie, sexy schoolgirl lingerie. So we decided to do something and act on it.
We'd really like for our petition to reach 100,000 signatures, which that's probably our biggest aim. But we also want companies like Amazon and eBay to stop the sale of school uniforms, sexy school uniforms, which can be, purchased really easily just by anybody. It's not right that that should be the case.
We seem to allow for this to be legally, and so therefore people think morally okay, but we're putting it out there and saying, we've got young children here who are feeling vulnerable, who are feeling violated because of this. They want this to change, and people are thinking, actually, why haven't we changed this? Why is it that we're in 2022 and it is okay to sexualise an item of clothing that is explicitly worn by children?
There's no reason why there should be people in pornography, on sex shops, and Halloween especially is another one where people are dressing up in schoolgirls, and I find our school uniforms uncomfortable anyway, and I don't want to wear it outside of school anyway. So I'm just wondering why do people want to wear that in their own free time?
Yeah, and we want to make a change for the future generations who have to wear school uniforms as well, because we don't want them to feel how we feel wearing our school uniforms around towns and cities. We want them to feel safe in school uniforms and that they're protected against people who want to sexualise them as well.
What we're saying in society, it's okay to normalise the sexualisation of students, and that's not right, and they are children. So I think if it's something that young people are passionate about, then it's a topic that us as adults also need to be passionate about. I'm inordinately proud of these children and what they're doing. They're very brave. It's a really big thing that they're doing, and they're brave and they're strong and they are wonderful young people. And to hear them being belittled and mocked, and people say, oh, they're just trying to ban everything, or they're just woke, or what about this, what about this, what about this? Why aren't you listening to children? We should be safeguarding them, we should be caring, we shouldn't be sexualising children, we should be safeguarding them. That's our role as adults, and if these children are saying this, we should be listening to them, we should be giving them a voice and listening. It's a topic that concerns me, and I'm never going to shy away from a topic just because for some people it might be unpalatable. If our students care about it, then we care about it.
And school uniforms belong to children. They don't belong to adults. It's not right for adults to take advantage of such a costume, as they sell it as a costume, which it's not a costume, it's a uniform, and it's the uniform of education. It symbolises education and children, not a costume.
The fact that they're striving for such a high goal says a lot about their tenacity. But can they achieve it? Of course they can, they absolutely can.
We're not silly. We know that, sadly, we may not make a legislation change, but we're hoping that at least the conversations that people are having, that's having some change. We can take away from this wherever we go, that at least we're having enough of a change that people might be reevaluating how they feel about it. And if we were to get legislation change, wouldn't that be wonderful? It would be wonderful to know that we've taken that step as a country, as a community, to support and listen to our young people and really make a change. It would be wonderful if we did.